Good morning, everyone. It's Cheryl, and we have another session of Ask Jez. Zoom's doing its funny little thing of loading, so maybe if I'm already talking, I would chitter-chatter away until I can see the little page pop up. So the question I'm going to be answering today is, and I have to excuse myself. I don't have corona, but I do have a dry throat. How do I go about speaking with agents? And I do know a lot of people. And before I go on, please feel free to comment on the bottom if you've got any particular questions, and I'll endeavor to get to them as well. How do I speak with agents, and what are the questions that I need to ask to be able to get the most information? And so this is for if you're looking at getting into a development in a particular area. So let's talk about just agents in general, and the type. There's a few levels I like to begin with. First is when you're doing your research on your specific target area. So for example, you've narrowed down to your top 3 areas and top 3 suburbs. What are the steps that I need to be able to take to really understand the type of product and who is buying? And that's the main thing that you want to do. Because what I always say to people who are starting out or just developers, like, what is your strategy in this particular area, and why have you chosen that strategy? And you need to understand the answers to those questions because you are catering your product to the end market. It shouldn't be the other way. It's not going to be a build it and they'll come. It needs to be the whole, this is the market that's wanting something, because you need to know what your exit is. So that's the first thing that I always recommend, is find out who are the top agents in the area, particularly those who have sold new product or have sold product that are off the plan. So you want to find agents who are great at project marketing. Oh, I hear the little feet on the way. They may have sniffed me out. And so you want to have people who are not necessarily just do your usual everyday, mom and dad real estate agent, but there are ones who understand projects well, and those are the people that you want to be speaking to. And how do you ask them the questions? So they're key questions that I often ask an agent, and how I present it really is that you want to get that agent's buy-in, in the sense that you are looking for people to partner with to be able to sell the end product. So what's going to make an agent happy is that you're producing product that's going to be easy for him or her to be able to sell to their clients, to their database. And the best way to do that is to say what is selling. So one of the main questions is, what's currently happening in the market? So, if you need to write these down, there are a few questions that I always ask, always open-ended questions, and always come across as the person who doesn't know, and that they are the expert, because they are, they're the ones that are living and breathing the area, and know who's buying. So one, what's happening in the market? Ask them about, what's the demand, what is the supply of certain stock. 2, who's buying and why? And when I say who's buying, what are the demographics of the people that are buying? So this is a really good example. We've got a project that's going to market very, very soon. So, these are the conversations that we're having with potential listing agents at the moment. And these are the exact questions as well. And so, say for example, our project, the agent was basically saying, what, it's 70%, it's a downsizing market, and they are cash buyers. We've got others who may be young executives or whichever. But this sort of insight, if 70% of your buyers are downsizers and cash buyers, who are you going to be targeting to? Obviously, that's 70% because it's going to be an easier market. I mean, obviously, if you're a bit more creative, you might be targeting a different market. But if it's something that you're building to sell, you want to have a product that's going to be appealing to a majority of the market, and pricing it and designing it and delivering the product that they're wanting. So once you understand who that demographics is, then understand as well, how are they finding that product? And when I say, how are they finding it? Is it traditionally through newspapers? Is it, digital media? We're talking about social media. Are they finding it through being tagged by their children, by someone else? And these are conversations that are really interesting to have, because you get a real good idea of the psyche of your buyer. And so, for example, with the downsizer market, are they still looking at newspapers, or are they all on their phones and computers and their iPads, constantly looking through realestate.com and Facebook? And if that's the case, what sort of news and information are they constantly looking for, so that when you target your Facebook ads or whichever, and yeah, you're talking about Facebook ads, it's not just realestate.com now as your digital marketing. How much research are they doing to be able to look for you? So really understand and ask the questions to that agent to understand who they are, what is their profile, where are they coming from? So where are your buyers? Where are these buyers coming from? Are they local in the area, or are they coming from interstate or overseas? At the moment, no one's coming from overseas, but we know, when the market does recover, these are the questions. Are they coming just from, the suburb next door because they are upsizing, or they're coming for the schools? So these are the questions, again, to be able to really understand who it is. Now that's come down now, so we know what the demographics is and who's buying. The next question is, what is the sweet spot for the price that they're looking to buy? And if it's a great agent that's been selling a lot, they know what it is. They'll tell you typically it's about $750 to $850, because there might be, because they're selling a property here and then they're downsizing to this, or whatever it might be. And not only that, then it's okay, so what product are they looking for? So if you notice, all my questions have been directed towards, you are the expert. I want to know what is the information and what is the experience and knowledge that you have about this area, for me to be able to create something for you, so that you can sell it to your audience, who are your eventual buyers. So what are they buying? Is it townhouses? Are they looking for a single level villa? Is it large apartments, or is it small apartments? If it's an apartment, how big do I build it? And if you're targeting to a downsize, and I'm talking about downsizes just as an example here. A lot of developers are building product which is, it might be a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment, but is it 75 square meters, or should it be 100 square meters? If you're building the same product like everyone else, may not necessarily. I mean, I know you want to be able to cater to the target market that's there and ready, but that's the idea of really understanding who that target market is. And so, if they're looking to downsize into a unit, what is the minimum size that we should be looking at? And it could be a two bed plus study, 100 square meter apartment, lots of storage. Make sure you've got lock-up garage. So for all the stuff that downsizers might have, make sure that you have a place that's a spare room for when the grandchildren come and stick all their toys in there. Make sure you've got storage for, depending on lifestyle, whether you need bikes or scooters or whatever it might be. Again, it's really understanding what what that market is wanting. So get an idea, if you're designing a townhouse, ask the question, do I need to have another master bedroom downstairs? Should my master bedroom be downstairs or upstairs? And if the master bedroom's upstairs, do I need a guest bedroom downstairs with its own ensuite? Questions about that. And even the outdoors. Okay, tell me about the outdoors. How much space do I need? Is it in a specific area that has a real diverse culture where there is a lot of entertaining in the outside, and things like outdoor kitchens are a huge plus. Ask the questions, open-ended questions, and you want to be the person that's listening to them. And then, that's the design side of things. And then sort of towards the end, ask about pricing. Again, drill down a little bit into pricing, about sort of, the mid-range, what's selling, the higher end of, higher end of the market, what's selling as well, and whether it is selling or it's not, or it's just, it's at a certain point where that particular market has almost like an invisible line. It's a block in buyers' heads that, generally it's about that 850 mark. Anything that's 950 and even in the million, you're not going to be able to sell. So it's, again, ask the right questions, open up open-ended questions, and allow them to speak and show you their professional knowledge. And then talk to them about projects. What size of projects are you? Start talking about their. Are you have you sold recently a similar sort of product? Has there been anything that you really think stood out in that product? What would you have done differently that wasn't so great? And what size of product? And when I say size, I'm talking about the actual development size. If you're producing townhouses, for example, is 8 in a group of townhouses okay that we're still going to get a good number of buyers? Or if I had 20 townhouses, is that too many? Is that looked at by purchasers as too much competition when I'm looking to sell? Work with them. And that's when you start asking about, all right, tell me about, with your project marketing, what are the strategies that you've used previously that have worked really well? And then talk about, the project marketing fees and things like that. So I think it's really important that, and at the very start, premise it. I forgot to say this, at the very start, to be able to let them know as well what your purpose is for calling. Hi, I'm Cheryl. We are developers. We are looking to move into this area because of this and this. We're looking to partner up with some real star project marketing agents who know the area well, that we can obviously grow with. Are you, we wanted to see if this is a right fit and that we can work together. And premise it to be able to say, do you have a good 15, 20 minutes? If not, I'll ring back later. So should have mentioned it at the beginning. Always premise your call and the purpose for your call, and for them to be able to understand what it is that you're looking to achieve by this call, whether it's this call with an agent or anyone else. Look at it as, I always say, to structure your calls. And this is something, again, probably, I should apply it to my live sessions. Always structure the call and any presentation so people know where you're heading. So wrapping it up is then being able to say, hey, this is our timeline of what we're looking to achieve. I'd love to be able to keep in touch with you. Do you have any sites maybe that are similar to what we may be looking to deliver? And you'll be surprised again. It will be there may be things that come up, and they do recommend we've got this, we're talking to the vendor at the moment, it's not listed. Would you be interested to have a look at it before it goes to market? Build that relationship with them and build a relationship with a few agents and look after them. Like, do build that relationship. And once you find the person that is, that you feel comfortable with, that that they're going to, that they've shown that they have had a great track record, and that there's someone that you also know is going to deliver a similar sort of result for your projects, use them. It's important that you keep cultivating that relationship. Obviously, look for the right people for the right project. What I want to say as well is to not be afraid to speak to agents. I get that some people feel that they might come across that they're not sure about what to ask. So definitely go through this live to note through the type of questions you can ask. And if we've got a bit of a template, we use just an Excel spreadsheet, but we note down all the agents we speak to under all these sort of questions. So if you're interested to get that spreadsheet and what those questions are, feel free to comment below. Yes, please. And we'll shoot something across to you at least in the next day or so. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for asking. And if you've got any comments, please pop them below and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And good luck with getting, speaking to the agents. Oh my goodness, they're human just like the rest of us. But for some reason, people do have a fear of speaking to agents. And if there are any agents that are here as well, it would be great to get your input as to how you'd like developers to interact with you. What are good tips that you can give developers to be able to get you on side, and also not to waste your time. We don't want to waste people's time. We want to make sure that it's constructive. It's an efficient use of time, and it's also a constructive use of time. Is that the right word? So I hope everyone's well, and that was helpful. Again, if you want to have a copy of the list of questions that you can use to ask agents for your next, just comment in the box below for yes, please, and we'll get something through to you. Thanks, everyone. Keep safe and be well. Ciao. Bye.